And we are now live streaming on Facebook. Welcome to ITDI's monthly roundup for February 2020. And I'm Phil Brown.
And I'm Stephen Herder.
And we're joined here today with special guest Renata.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for joining us, Renata.
My pleasure.
We have another special guest lost in space right now, so I'm just reaching out to try to tether onto him. So Phil, if you can tell everybody about your day for just a second.
Yeah, it's been usual busyness, but let's take a look. If Steve, if you'd like to share screen, we're going to talk a little bit today. Usually we do three things in our monthly roundup, and first of all, we will share some of the things that you might have missed, some of the key highlights that's been going on in ITDI in the world of ELT, English Language Teaching. Then secondly, we'll get on to our main topic today, which is making the move to online teaching, where we have our special guests, Renata and Rhett, who will be sharing some of their experiences and insights into what's been going on there. And then lastly, we'll have a little bit of time at the end to talk about what's coming up next that you don't want to miss out on. Hi, Rhett. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. So, Rhett, you're in South Korea, and Renata, where are you?
I'm in Macedonia,
Okay.
Europe, Balkan.
Brilliant.
Would you like to go over to the share screen right away?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, and we got so many things happening on this little screen. So the month of February has been all about task-based language teaching. And that's because we're infinitely excited about having Marcos Benavides working with us for one of our advanced skills courses, which starts on March 1st. It's called Task-Based Language Teaching, as you see, instruction, assessment, and course design. Marcos, for anybody who doesn't know, is quickly becoming a world leader, being burdened by carrying around so many awards these days. Multiple Eltons and award-winning textbooks, and just one of the hardest working guys in ELT and one of the nicest guys. So this course starts March 1st, this Sunday night. Basically, what we're telling you now, if you go through the ITDI Facebook page, you'll see a month's worth of postings. And what we're doing is just giving you little hints on what's going on with them right now.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we do that is that we realize, from my own experience about a year ago, I realized I hadn't seen any postings from the ITDI page for so long because I hadn't interacted with it. And I then discovered that I'd missed months of really interesting, good stuff. So wanted to kind of just highlight a few for you and let you know that, you might not be seeing everything, but there's a lot out there. We've been sharing articles on TBLT, and also we had some Facebook Lives and interviews with Marcos as well. And the other focus that we've had in February, is on grammar in language teaching. Teaching grammar has also been a response to people in our ITDI community asking us to take a look at that, having looked at vocabulary in January.
Yeah, just the one that you might see if you're scrolling through, that we actually had a full 1-hour session called Exploring TBLT, a question answer period, which was highly successful. Just simply that a couple of people signed up for the course, within an hour or so after going through this on live. Marcos is just really an expert on this, and both makes it very accessible, and he's very enthusiastic about it all as well. So that's something else you'll see.
Yeah, he's a great workshop facilitator. I was lucky to catch him in Japan when I was living there. which is the first time I met him, and he was doing things on extensive reading and his other big area, extensive reading and task-based learning.
Yeah.
So,
the next thing in our little list was talking about the new TESOL certificate cohort. And if we look here, you get to see a little glimpse of the happiest new class in cyberspace right now. You know, sometimes you hit the button at the right time, but you see there are 6 of us there, and this was actually started last night. And it's either, our courses are either 30 hours or 140 hours. And this is after the first orientation session called the ITDI February 2020 TESL certificate. And what a great start it was. What did you think, Phil?
yeah, it's a really eclectic group of people, including Rhett, who's joined us today.
Yeah.
Ranging from new teachers who've just started to teachers who've been teaching.
Yeah, okay, 30 years.
Yeah.
I liked it so much I had to take it a second time.
There
Right.
you go. Good answer.
That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And we're looking forward to taking another angle with it as well with you.
Yeah. So if we get out of there for a minute, we can go back to teaching online, hey? Who's doing this one, you or me, Phil?
I can do this one, that's all good.
Okay.
So just basically the reason for revisiting the Teaching Online blog and also doing this Facebook Live today, inviting Renata and Rhett, is the effect of coronavirus on language teachers across the region and also spreading worldwide. First of all, we hear from friends and colleagues in China who basically they got back after Chinese New Year and classes were delayed starting and so forth, and then they were asked to then switch classes to teaching online, and suddenly they find that they've got to deal with new technology and thinking about how they're going to deal with their materials and delivery from small classes to classes of 40 plus. So kind of the people starting to reach out and ask for kind of ideas and help. We see that going on in different forums as well, whether it's Facebook groups online and British Council and so forth. So we kind of thought it would be good if we can do something to give back to the ITDI community and beyond, and spend a little time to share and focus there. Rhett is obviously, you've kind of experienced that in South Korea, and also just recently we've heard Japan's also affected with school closures until the end of March. Okay.
Well, that's what we're leading into. Like we've brought in, this is a little bit of a special session today. So because of the coronavirus and everything that's been happening with that. So we've brought in 2 special guests, Renata and Rhett, who have particular experiences with this situation. So we're going to start with Rhett, okay? And I'm not sure that we need to be sharing my screen right now. Is that right? We can move back to the main.
Yep, definitely come out of there.
Yeah, there we go. Yay. Okay, so thank you to Rhett. Thank you so much for agreeing to come in and talk with us about what might not be the happiest situation that you're in, but it's certainly a realistic situation. So we know that you're in Korea. Can you just briefly tell us when this began, this ordeal, which may have a very happy ending. We all understand that, but you woke up at one point, how many days ago, to find out that your business was needing to be changed immediately. How did that start?
Well, it started right after like the Chinese New Year's too, but at that time, Korea had it under wraps and it kind of like passed by. But then
what was the
suddenly
date on that, Rhett? Right after the Chinese New Year's?
I'm not good with numbers.
Okay, but a week ago.
No, well, no, several, like a month ago.
Okay.
All right, and then several weeks passed by, and we thought everything was okay, but then there was another emergence of the coronavirus in Daegu, last week. And since then, a week ago today, it's just kind of exploded. And all the schools have been shut down for the last week, or most schools have been shut down for the last week. A lot of private academies. I've got a lot of friends here and there, everywhere, who are looking at this situation with kind of a, you know.
Yeah, what's going to happen kind of feel, hey? So
Yeah,
you have, for people who don't know you, you have your own small school out of your house, right?
Yeah, I have a study room out of my house, so I don't employ employees, and I don't have to pay a lot of the fees with rentals and, and all those overhead costs. So I'm in a position to weather the storm a little bit better than a lot of people who do own academies, and it's the academy owners.
What % of your business was online teaching before?
0.
Yes.
0.
0. Yeah.
Because I offer, you know, a one-on-many small group interactions, and that's what young learners in Korea really like. But when the coronavirus came, then the door shut very quickly.
Yeah. So just briefly, when you realized, I guess the transition from my business is closed to I'm going to have to go online, did that take more than a couple of hours, or did you just decide that immediately?
Well, I've been trying to get my school online for the past 4 years.
Okay.
So for the last 4 years, I've been taking courses and learning, investing, and changing. And I've been really working hard at it for like a long time.
Yeah.
And so when this situation came, I'm like, this is kind of the straw that says, it is go time. I need to, you know, flip the switch and just go with it.
Yeah.
For, you know, for good or for worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, how many days have you been working on making that transition to?
5 days.
5 days. And
on Monday, when I flicked the switch, I got online to my Facebook group. I have a small group of study room owners and Hagwon owners, academy owners. And I said, all right, guys, this thing is a real situation. We got to do something about it. We got to go online. So every day for a whole week, I've been like hosting these Zoom conferences, and I'm like, this is Zoom. This is how to do it. This is how to do it. Do it, do it, do it. And suddenly there's like 10 other people just this week who've started up online, and I'm super excited for them.
Yeah. Has your confidence, how battle scarred are you feeling after these first 5 days? Or are you actually feeling optimistic? What's the wave of feelings you go through in the last 5 days?
Well, you know, to be honest, it's just so much uncertainty, because on one hand, our business and the service that we offer is all group children coming to our house to experience English in a face-to-face, you know, play kind of
environment.
situation. And to make the transition online is it worth, like a lot of teachers like, is it really worth taking all that effort and taking all this, the resources, time, energy, money, and put it forth towards an online solution when it might change after a week or two?
Yeah.
So I don't, at this stage right now.
You don't know, do you? You don't know.
I just don't know. Like I'm optimistically moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just can't answer that question too.
So how about the mothers and the children range from what ages?
At my school, kindergarten through grade 4.
So that's like age 3 to 10 roughly, or?
Well, I teach about age 6 to 11.
Okay, 11. So the end of kindergarten. Yeah, okay. And have you been able to do any lessons online yet, or still setting up?
Well, all week long, I've been chatting with teachers, trying to figure out the tools, trying to figure out the content, trying to figure out what works best, and just getting used to working with native speakers on the Zoom call, so that we could kind of troubleshoot it at the same time.
Sure, sure.
And it's like, if we were to do that with young learners who didn't speak the same L1 as us, it'd be a lot more challenging.
Yep,
So,
yep.
I've only been doing it for a week, and yesterday I taught my first 3 classes. But what I did is I was a little bit strategic about it. I called the mothers on the phone and I said, "Hi, Mom, this is Rhett, teacher." This was in Korean, and some of my moms speak English. I'm like, "Hi, this is Rhett. I'm opening up a class in an hour. Can you join me?" "Great. All right, I'm sending you the link now." "All right, you got the link? Good. All right, click on that button. You did that. All right, can you see me? I'm on camera. Good. Now turn on your microphone. Perfect. All right, I'm going to record this conversation now. Bye."
Yes.
And, you know, like I went and I talked to all of the highest level students, because I believe if I get the highest level students on board, then I can get the students right below them on board. And if I can get the students before them on board, then I can get the level, say, 2 students on board.
Right.
And if I can get the level 2 students on board, then I've got 3/4 of my school on board. I can get the level 1 students on board.
Right. Do you feel like people are kind of coming together to try to solve, like mothers as well? They just announced here in Japan, the Prime Minister announced last night that the schools, all the elementary, junior, and high schools, will be closed for the next month.
Yes.
Right. And so there is a sense of people pulling together, trying to figure out, what are we going to do with all these kids? Because everything's shut down and they're going to be at home. So I think some mothers are seeing this, seeing the online lessons as an opportunity for something to actually do with their kids.
I have 2 sons. One's just starting elementary school this year, and his elementary school is now being delayed. So guess where he is? He's in the room next to me. So you're right. Like, as a parent, I kind of want to have a little leadership and direction for my son through something more educational than just, say, YouTube or games or whatnot. So these days, my brain is like, how can I think like the parent for the child? And how can I be like the child for the parent? So it's like, so I'm talking to my son. I'm like, what shall we do tomorrow? Because I think I'm going to design maybe my next online experience for how my son thinks and how my son wants to negotiate the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
So I'll tell you, last night, I was thinking about you because we were in a session together, and I was so excited at the end of the TESOL certificate course, I couldn't sleep. And then I just was trying to wind down, and I came across Eric Kane, who has his school in Japan outside Kyoto. And did you see he put up?
He posted up a video.
Yeah,
him and his co-teacher. They do such lovely things together.
Yeah,
I love how they
the
work
interaction
together.
was very good, and I ended up watching most of it just because it was engaging. And you could see him using techniques of pausing and asking questions to the students, you know, and adding time. But then a couple of people commented afterwards and were saying, you know, the slight difference between recording something and doing something live, you know, and how the value of having real interaction more so than, you know, faked interaction. But I thought they did an excellent job. But this is my lead in to a question about, have you learned anything yet in getting it this far, just in the setup and stuff? I mean, I was watching you just now explain to the mothers, micro step by micro step, what to do. Yeah.
See, well, that is a big part of my process. I break things down to very small little sequences.
Yeah.
Because if I can teach them at every step, then
you don't lose them, right?
I keep them engaged, but then there's language that every step, like the brain has to think through step by step, and the brain talks to itself. So when I can break it down into small enough steps, then I can teach them to think in English.
Yeah.
So yes, one of the strategies I will be doing is kind of breaking it right down to the, like, you know, like, for example, like, hello, you know, people just say, hello, oh, hello, hello, hi. But, you know, my style is to break that down into its smallest, like part, and, you know, like, come up with one, and then have them repeat 1, 2, good job. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
4, just for you guys. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Hello. Stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Like getting it, simplifying it down to its smallest part.
Yeah. And so how about to wrap up this section with you, I would like to know if you have any message to other people that are sitting out there in the audience going, what am I going to do? Have you got any encouraging words for other people, or?
Not really.
No. That's it. Throw in the towel.
I don't really have any. Don't throw in the towel.
Right.
Well, you can if you want, or you think you should. But we all need to find support. But just dissect the problem down to the smallest micro level, and then just take that baby step. If you don't know how to get on, if you don't know how to do Zoom, then just turn on Zoom. And if you play around with it for an hour, then just send out a link to a friend and have a conversation, and then do the things that you know how to do, and then gradually just get more and more confidence. If you do a little bit every day, by the end of the week, like I said in my group in Hog One Startup, at the start of the week, nobody had planned to do online teaching. And then I got in and said, all right, we're going to Zoom. All right, we're going to Zoom. All right, we're going to Zoom. And I just repeated that same message all day, for every day, for a whole week. And now like 10 people have started up. I'm like, boom, that's how we do it.
Absolutely.
So I'm really proud of my friends right now.
Yeah, of course. Great leadership on your part, Rhett.
I just don't want to fail.
No, well, you got a family and kids to feed. Yeah.
2 kids, yes.
Sorry, just last one. I said to you last night, it's when there's no choice is when things are sometimes easiest.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
And so anyone who's wondering, so Hog One Startup, Hog One's are like the language schools or the private language schools and study rooms in South Korea, right? And
yes,
this is a group that you started up 4 years ago or something, you said?
About 4 years ago.
And to support those schools and owners or people looking to venture into that direction, right?
People always have questions, and people always want to be in a group that supports, you know, progression, and that's what we're there for. Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant, Rhett. Thank you so much for that.
It was so wonderful for this opportunity to talk with you guys today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And is there a link that we can share on the Facebook page for anyone who's interested in that group and joining?
Well, it's kind of only local to where we are.
Sure, but I mean, for other teachers in South Korea, for example,
they'll find me.
Okay.
Yeah, go look for Rhett.
Join ITDI. That's a great group for you. And if you do find us, then the reason why I keep it very local is because a lot of it's local laws, a lot of it's local, talking about everything that's very local. So, and most people in Korea, we all have friends of friends. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome to stay, because we have on my screen we have a real expert moving back and forth above you on my picture.
She's on a ball.
She's just ready to go. She was ready to go an hour ago. So thank you so much, Renata. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining
us. Always a pleasure.
We love you. We love your energy and your smiles and everything else. So
we used to see you regularly in the teachers' room, but understand you became busy. But we spent almost a good year together. So
now I'm here.
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell us just a little bit, sir, for the 1 or 2 people in the world who don't know you yet. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been teaching and where you've been teaching before you started the online stuff. So just introduce yourself a little.
All right. So I come from Macedonia, a very small country here in Europe, and I've been teaching for almost 25 years now.
Wow.
I was teaching in other schools, then I started my own school. And I had many students, maybe 300 or more. And one day I decided to quit and to travel the world, teach and travel. I started from Slovenia. I moved to Turkey. And then I ended up in the United Arab Emirates. When I came back from there, I already had, lots of students in the world. And one of my friends told me about the online teaching. I wanted to try so much. And now I can say that I love online environment. Why? Because it brings together diverse people, cultures, countries, even continents, you know?
Mm.
And it's, we live in a, you know, nowadays everything is online.
Yeah, it sure is.
What is very important is showing the students that you care about them. That makes the difference.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Before we get into all of that, I want to know, how long have you been doing the online teaching now? How long have you been doing it?
You know, online you should be very expressive and do things like this and like this. 3 years now.
Okay. 3 years. Wow.
3 years now.
And you're working in a number of different time zones, aren't you?
Yes.
So
that's what I do.
Yeah. So which countries do you have students in now?
Japan, China, Taiwan so far.
Wow. Wow. So does that mean that you have to stay up very late at night sometimes, or get up very early?
Well, no. I start 6:30 my morning.
Okay.
And I finish almost 3:30 my afternoon, which is very late in China or Japan. But at these late hours, usually I have adults.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Because children finish at 8:30 their time,
Yeah.
China or Japan time.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, before you said that you were very excited to try online teaching, and so just before you jumped in and started, can you remember any of what kinds of fears you had? Were you afraid of anything going into it, or just happy?
No, I have no fear. No fears at all.
Oh my, I have lots of fears. That's wonderful. Good for you.
I wasn't scared when I was traveling to Turkey. I knew nothing, as well as in the Arab world. I didn't know what the flat looked like where I was living. I didn't know the college, nothing. Just several pictures, you know, on internet that I checked by myself. No, why would I be scared sitting at home, comfortable?
Yeah. So that was easy. Okay.
You know, you don't have to be a computer expert. I was worried about that.
Okay.
Just, you know, general knowledge of things. And I didn't know how fast I would be because, you know, you're writing, you're speaking. I want to say something. When I have adults, 6 of them, you know, different names. And I don't see them. They don't have their camera on. They don't have that option for a camera. You have to be prepared to go through the material. Everyone has a timer checking how much time each of them was speaking during the class. And you know, my eyes are on their names. I remember who is next. I remember what to say, what to ask. I listen to them, I type, and I'm prepared for the next slide.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did that take long to learn that system, or was it easy?
Well, it takes some time, yes. Yes. Now I can say I earn more. Why? Because it takes time. You know, you learn the system, the platform, you learn the kids, but what's the same is the love that you spread, the love that you share. That is very, very important. You know, kids and adults rate us. My rating is 10, of course. 10 is like the top. They can give you from 1 to 10. And trust me, they know how to rate you.
Yes, absolutely.
They know how they feel during the class, you know.
Yeah.
If they give you 10, you get more dollars, you know, on your bills.
Yeah.
So you have to try, but it's about love, about teaching. It's not about the money that much.
Yeah.
They feel, you
Yeah.
know, they feel if you love them, if you care about them.
Wow. Wow. Do you want to go over to the slideshow or not yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can show them, no problem.
Okay.
I just
So-
have a
Go
quick
ahead,
question
Phil.
as well. So we know you're doing work for iTutor Group. Do you do, like some of the other teachers, they have different platforms, they work for a number of different companies, or do you just kind of focus on working?
So far, I work only for one company.
And have you always worked for them, or have you also worked for others as well?
Yeah, for 3 years for them, yes.
Okay,
It's
right.
good, yeah.
You
Brilliant.
are a loyal employee.
Yes, I am.
So one quick question is, I noticed that you are closer to the screen than us. Is that on purpose with so seeing, I can see your mouth so easily.
Yeah,
You see-
yeah.
Is that,
Yes, that's the reason. So they can feel me. I can be close to them. You know.
Oh, no.
Get too close.
No, people.
Oh, Zoom.
oh, go ahead.
So this is what my workplace looks like.
Yeah.
There must be this poster, and I'm wearing a red polo t-shirt, a red one, not a white one.
Okay.
I never sit like this. I'm always like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just noticed right away that we can see your mouth so clearly, and I thought probably that's on purpose.
I don't know if it is good or bad, but okay, I'll move back.
The more Renata is always good, in my opinion.
I like it. I like it.
Phil, did you have other questions or move on?
No, that's great. Well, I'm going to hand back to Renata.
Okay, so I'm going to move over to the screen and open up our our PowerPoint. There we go.
Yeah. So this is about the rating, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm seeing your,
the Facebook page.
yeah, I'm seeing your Chrome at the browser at the moment.
oh, really? I'm seeing the actual PowerPoint. Why is that? Oh, thank you. Uh-oh.
So one thing about online teaching that I remember from Heike Phillips' course a little while back was also, you know, sometimes we have these tech issues. Our students sometimes have tech issues. One of the things that I really appreciated with her was that she was always stayed very calm about stuff and take people through things slowly so that they can feel that calmness and settle down. Renata, you find that very important as well?
Yeah, that is very important, yes. Sometimes they have to refresh it, refresh the page or turn the camera on and off. On the left side, Dubai, teaching, traveling. On the right side, Frankfurt. A little bit of spending my Arab money. Joking, of course. I have family there, relatives.
So you're seeing it now properly?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we can move on. Yes.
There we go. Take
Yes,
me through
this is my classroom. This is what the whiteboard looks like. On the left where there is blank, on the up there is I'm on the camera, just down there I see the children on the camera, the kid on the camera. As you can see on this whiteboard, there are lots of tools. I can underline, I can zoom it, zoom out. I can, there are some emojis, there are some animals. For the youngest, if I finish the material fast, we can talk about the animals. I just put the animals there.
Good.
Meow, meow, knock, knock. What is it? A cat. A cat, lovely cat. So this is what the whiteboard looks like.
Okay.
We can move on. Let's see the next one.
Yeah.
The next one. Yeah, you see, I'm in my kitchen now, here in the picture. They see me like this, and they're just below me. And it says Renata and the name of the student. I see only the children. I don't see the adults, only
Okay.
children.
Yep.
And yeah, this is the same, what it looks like.
Next slide.
And then next slide, please. Yes. So when we finish the session, then they rate us. They write their comments. I usually have, I have all the 10s, and usually they write what kind of teacher am I, friendly, energetic, interesting, energetic, because I'm moving all the time. I'm expressing, I want to be close to them. And they also can write sufficient guidance, but also they can write something negative, like we didn't finish the material.
Right.
They can write the real situation. Yes, next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they write, teaching attitude, and they leave a comment, time allocation, speaking speed, if everything was okay, they want to know. Okay, next slide.
Yep.
Yeah, and yes, this one. So yesterday, my client was Michael Z Jr. and rating 10. They can give you from 1 to 10. If your rating comes below 8, then they freeze your account, and again you attend their workshops.
Wow.
You shouldn't be below 9, 8.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Wow.
And next
Wow.
one was the next slide. Yeah,
Yep.
this one. Okay, go on. Next one. We already. Yeah. This is the customer progress report. After every session, I have to fill this form. I'm not going to get paid if I don't have this written here.
Yeah.
And since I know Michael for a long time, I just wrote, well done, Michael. You did a great job today. Keep up the good work. I will be very, very happy to see you soon. If I saw Michael for the first time, this would be a bit longer. Like, the participation was great. He had some difficulties in pronunciation of these words,
Yeah.
a bit longer.
Yeah.
And then I also write, the next slide, please. Yeah, this is about the lesson. How was the lesson? Excellent. The purpose, usability.
Yeah.
Were there any errors? No. And I just write excellent. If there are any errors, I write.
Yeah. Are all the materials prepared for you?
Yes, the materials are already prepared, but it's good to go through the material. You need solid planning. You know what you're going to teach and how you're going to teach it,
Yeah.
And be expressive and show your students that you care, and ask some questions like, when I see them, when they enter the classroom, hey, hi, how are you? Yesterday, Michael was crying. I said, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And he said, I didn't finish my homework and my mother was angry. Don't worry. You will finish it after this class, And I often show them hearts and I say, I love you. Not to adults, only the children, For adults, I go, wow, great, perfect.
Yeah. Wow. Is this the last slide? Is there another one?
I think, yes, that's the last one, yes.
Oh, this one.
This is what I was preparing. I can speak about online teaching for 10 hours, believe me.
So give us, go ahead, and we got a few more minutes to talk about this, but if you wrote it down in your notebook, I'm sure that it's an important message that you wanted to share things with us. So tell us a few of them.
Yes. The most important time is to manage the time properly. Because you have only, for children, I have only 25 minutes, 45 with adults. But remember, 25 minutes, I have to cover everything. It's very different than face-to-face.
Yeah.
Why? Because when I was in my classroom, I can spend more time on the things they're not sure about, because when you have face-to-face communication, I see your reaction, how you react. Here, I don't see my older students, you know, I just hear their voice. And I'm more facilitator.
Yes.
You know, we have to go through the material, but what I do and what they love so much, the adult learners, they usually have texts. Before the class starts, I know more or less what words are new for them. I underline each word which would be difficult for them. I write how to pronounce it, and I write the explanation. Very, very simple words I use. You know, and they're very happy about it because they can go through it alone at home again and again and again. What's very different from face-to-face teaching is that we teachers are not on stage.
Right.
I'm at home, you know, I'm not standing there. I'm at home. I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You can wear your pajamas, the t-shirt on, you know.
Yeah.
That's very different. And I wanted to say that
about how many lessons are how many lessons in a day are too many? What's the number that feels comfortable for you?
Well, I have had a very good preparation, because when I had my school, I had 19 or 11 or 13 lessons every day.
Wow.
So I cannot be tired easily.
Yeah.
But I think that for teacher starters, those who don't have much experience, 4 lessons a day are okay, 5 are okay, but not more than 7.
Okay.
I usually have like 9 or 11 a day, sometimes 15.
Wow.
But that's a question of how much you've worked before, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
You need concentration. You know, it's not about just having the lesson. It has to be a very good lesson. They have to enjoy. I want to enjoy. If I enjoy, my students will enjoy.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that like a 1-hour class?
No, 45 minutes for adults and 25 for kids.
You mentioned that.
And
25 minutes.
Do you think those numbers in terms of the children, especially being able to concentrate, does 25 minutes sound like the right amount of time?
Yes, that's a perfect time. They don't have that attention span, you know, for being in front of the computer, learning that much. 20-25 minutes, just great. Imagine some of them are 3 years old, 4 years old.
Right.
In this virtual, you know, environment, that's a lot.
Now,
but enough. We cover 11, 12 slides.
Okay.
All UP materials, Oxford University Press.
Yeah. Now, right now, we can see 3 of us online in 3 different cameras. When you're dealing with some children, are they together in the same room, or are they in different houses?
No, they're different, maybe different countries.
Places.
Yes, I see them separately, kids, you know, 2 of them or 3 of them.
Like our Zoom.
Like us.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And we have a question here. What are your class sizes? Are they all small numbers?
Yes, most of them are just 1 student.
Wow.
Some of them are 2 or 3. It happens during the weekends. Adults, 6, 5.
Really?
Young learners.
Yes.
Wow.
Rarely 1. I always have group when we speak about adult classes.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's why time is very important.
We got another question here which says, with the adults, do you think 5 or 6 is the maximum, or do you think you can have more?
That's the maximum. It's very difficult if they are 10, you know, they will speak very little time. If they're 2 or 3, that's fine. 2, great. 1, you know, that's the best. When there is only 1, we can.
Do you cover all 4 skills, or do you have different stages of your lessons, from reading, writing, listening, speaking, or different tasks? Or
Yeah, with children writing, yes, all 4 skills with children. Adults, they don't write, because, you know, if they're 6, if they start writing, we won't have enough time. So with adults, I concentrate on speaking mainly. Speaking, yes. But with children, yeah, they have, you know, like the normal books where they answer questions. They have to, the words, they have to match, you know, they have lots of activities.
Another question coming in.
Yeah, do you lose Zoom quality if you have more students? It's not the platform is not on Zoom. They have iTutor group. They have their own platform.
Yeah.
And yeah, no problems so far. No, we don't have any problems. 6 of them online, perfect class.
Yeah.
But the 6 adults, they're not visually there, so you're using less bandwidth probably.
Yeah, just using audio.
Audio only.
Yeah, just audio. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, with the ITDI TESOL certificate courses and other courses we've done, we've had multiple people in the room with multiple cameras, and generally Zoom has always been very stable, not an issue.
My son has been in groups with 35 people on Zoom, and no problem at all. You have to have your etiquette. You have to make sure everybody has to know the rules for speaking, and you know, to not speak at the same time and stuff like that. But,
you mean like interrupt you?
Yeah. Do you I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this question. It's something about making relationships with children online versus making relationships with little kids that run up and want to hug you or something like that in face-to-face. So was that different for you to get used to, or was it easy?
Very easy, I would say, you know.
She's been doing it her whole life, I think. What makes her special is that makes her special. This is just me. How can I not be me?
I'm going to give up. I think I have no difficult questions for you.
You know what? I have had some students for 3 years. They started with me when I started teaching. After 3 years, they are with me. They're growing up with me. They're from Japan, from China. I have regular sessions with them. You know what? They know I love them because they can feel I want to hug them. They're not near me, but they feel that energy, you know? And what kids?
Here. What kinds, I think that is. So it says, what kinds of activities engage the learners, and how do you encourage the kids to speak up online? Is that different from the way you do it face-to-face?
Face-to-face would be easier because you see their eyes, but here, yes, some of them, you know, there were some little children crying, and I was speaking, you know, all the time, 5 minutes, 10, by myself. And then I remember I have lots of songs in my head. And I think the girl was 3 or 4, crying all the time, didn't want to see me all the time. And I said, you know, look at the cat. But I was speaking to myself. I saw her back. And I said, you know, knock, knock. Who's that? Meow, meow. But I was speaking, you know, with a very nice and low voice. After 5 minutes, believe me, she turned around and she was saying, meow, meow. I said, yes, meow, meow. And then the dog came, whoa, whoa. And then the tiger, grrr. That's how we started the class. And there was an agent. This was a demo session. I had an agent, and he's observing the session if they have problems or something. If they don't speak, the mothers maybe don't speak English. And at the end, he wrote, "Renata, you're my hero." You know, no one expected, because he texted me. We can text each other. They cannot
privately.
speak. And he said, "If you want, I would like to close the session." I said, "No, we are not going to close the session." And after 5 minutes, we were meowing and grrr with the tiger.
Yeah. That's a great story to wrap this up. So I guess if I had to guess what the word is, the one word that defines your online teaching, I think all three of us could say, ready, love. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I always talk about building trust with students, and it's, I guess they're similar in a way. The love and the trust come together, but I just love that you are able to own it. Now, some people might try to say, well, I have to be formal, or I have to be a teacher, but ultimately people just they like to be loved. And what you're doing is loving them. So congratulations. So thank you so much for coming and sharing your positivity and your enthusiasm with it all. Is there any other questions or comments from you guys?
I see some people asking about, what kind of things to use, whether it's songs or picture books, even face-to-face with little kids, doing kids demo lessons. Often actually we used to do animal lessons, because that's a good way to break in, and puppets is another one.
I use lots of things. For example, most of them didn't find the word souvenirs, and then I showed them. I said, I went to Greece and I bought this fridge magnet. Then I went to Italy, Venice. Look at the mess. This is a souvenir. Is it a big gift? No, it's a small gift. Souvenirs, small gifts.
Nice.
Yeah, I use it. Yeah, whiteboard. If we speak about, I don't know, notebooks, I always have and show a notebook.
Yeah.
You can use it, yes, of course.
Well, a lot of it is common sense, right? Just using common sense and staying connected with the people in the room. I just had an image in my brain. If you have a 25-minute lesson with children, how much of it might be singing songs or doing flashcards, or what are some of the top 3 kinds of activities that you might be doing?
First of all, you have to cover 12 or 11 slides as you're given. That's the first thing. But that's why it takes time. During the time you get the sense which slide I can go faster, which one slower, where I can put my song. It comes with the time. At the very beginning, you don't have that sense, because you're in a rush. I have to finish the lesson. Why? Because after the session, they're going to write, the teacher didn't finish all the slides. And imagine if all your ratings are 10 and someone gives you 1 or 2, you immediately go down here. I have that sense where to put the songs, flashcards. I do it fast, but effectively.
Yeah, good. So it seems like that's great that iTutor Group gives you a lot of the materials, and you can have confidence using them, and you can get used to using them, which allows you to put in your own personality as you get used to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Phil, I think we have just 4 minutes left, and we're supposed to go on and do a few things for the future.
Yes, indeed. So just a quick comment. If I've been looking off to the side, it's because I've been checking my other screen and looking for the Facebook comments to share in with our guests here.
Well, thank you, Renata. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. Perfect.
So just wrapping up today, we would like to share a couple of things that are coming up. We have Marcos Benavides starting his course on task-based language teaching on Sunday. There are still places if you'd like to check that out, and if you're interested. Obviously, task-based learning and language teaching is very useful whether you're teaching online or face-to-face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Key staple of many communicative language teaching approaches. And then also next week, I believe, on the 3rd of March, we are
Tuesday night in Japan.
Yeah, in the teacher's room. Our next interview is with Effie Buxavana, if I've said her name correctly, and she's a musician and music teacher originally, but using boom whackers to teach English through music and play. So if you'd like to find out more, then do join us.
We're going to do a full hour with her, and I'm sure there will be music and singing and demonstrations, because every video I've found of her, she's doing that all the time. She gets the most out of it, and she seems very personable and friendly. And so on Tuesday in Japan, Tuesday night in Japan, you can find a very nice picture of her and a little advertisement for this. Come and join us and see what you think.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us online. If we didn't get to answer your questions in the session, then we'll check the comments afterwards and take a look and try and get back to you there as well.
If you like the energy you feel tonight among our friends here, these are all kind of ITDI friends. There's something special about our group that as we get to know each other and connect, we seem to attract really genuine, nice, wonderful, loving people. And we would like to invite you to get involved, to come and join us and get involved a little bit, because there's so much room for all of us. I've been doing this 30 years and I'm still excited to learn new things all the time. And I feel so empowered by listening to both of you. Rhett, what you've been working at getting going, and Renata, what you've been carrying on just gives me energy. Like, it's so refreshing. Hey, Phil?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. And come see us again. We're here monthly with the ITDI monthly roundup. So around the end of March, we'll be up again with one of these. So
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.